Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Okay, I got this video here from YouTube that I want you all to see, and we'll discuss that after it's done.
Cans could be harder to find as U.S. tariffs on aluminum may soon take effect. The company's CEO says it may...
The drinks in the U.S. are made by American workers in American factories, largely all with American inputs, and the same would be true if you took Brazil or anywhere else. It's a very profoundly operationally local business.
Coca-Cola, one of the most recognizable American companies with over a century of worldwide reach, is now getting ready to depart the U.S. The dramatic move follows a broad change in economic policy under newly elected President Donald Trump. His administration has imposed aggressive tariffs on a wide range of trade partners, a move that was hailed as a step towards achieving economic self-sufficiency and strengthening domestic industries, but has instead sparked a trade war. Retaliatory tariffs on American products have been imposed by the U.S.'s major trade partners in retaliation. Before we start hitting the like and subscribe buttons for additional updates, Coca-Cola's leadership, led by CEO James Quincey, has determined that it is no longer feasible to continue running its worldwide supply chain from inside U.S. borders due to the increasingly unfriendly economic climate. The corporate world was rocked by the revelation. Since its establishment in the late 19th century, Coca-Cola, with its headquarters located in Atlanta, Georgia, has been a representation of American cultural impact and business success. Its decision to move its operating headquarters elsewhere highlights the severity of the present economic situation. The red and white label, which is well known in almost every part of the world, has long been seen as a tribute to American inventiveness, soft power, and worldwide leadership in business. It's more than just a business plan. It is an important and symbolic change that illustrates how hard it is becoming for multinational corporations to operate in a world where protectionist laws predominate. From agricultural commodities like sugar and fruit extracts to aluminum cans, plastic bottles, marketing services, and equipment, Coca-Cola's activities are centered upon a complex network of global supply chains. Before these parts reach customers, they often traverse international boundaries. For a business that depends on efficiency, uniformity, and brand consistency, tariffs, especially wide, non-targeted ones, disturb these flows, add layers of costs, and create uncertainty. Even little disruptions in the supply chain may have significant effects. However, the economic structure on which Coca-Cola has depended for decades has been all but destroyed by the current trade policies. The cost of essential inputs skyrocketed in the weeks after President Trump announced his tariffs. For instance, the aluminum required to make billions of Coca-Cola cans every year became much more costly as a result of both U.S. import taxes and retaliatory levies from major exporters like China and Canada. Production expenses were directly impacted by this spike. The increase in the cost of imported flavoring and sweeteners from Asia and Latin America was also crucial. Coca-Cola could try to cover some of these expenses, but this could not be done indefinitely without experiencing a sharp decline in profits or raising prices that might turn off price-conscious customers. James Quincey had few practical choices after coming under increasing pressure from worldwide partners and stockholders. The fact that Coca-Cola operates in a nation that is embroiled in several tariff-related issues simply put the corporation at a competitive disadvantage. By moving overseas, Coca-Cola hopes to safeguard its profits, keep access to its markets, and maintain its standing as a dependable supplier in a volatile economic environment. Other nations keen to draw in international investment and corporate headquarters provided attractive alternatives, reduced production costs, advantageous tax rates, and, above all, access to open and cooperative trade regimes. This choice has far-reaching consequences. The exit of such a well-known corporation from U.S. territory might be a turning point in the economy. A giant in the consumer products industry, Coca-Cola employs tens of thousands of people both directly and indirectly, supporting millions more people via distributors, retailers, and service providers. When one of the nation's flagship corporations determines it cannot operate effectively within national policy constraints, the message to the business community is unmistakable and worrisome. Its departure could set off a chain reaction that encourages other multinational firms to reevaluate their own operations in the United States. The departure of Coca-Cola also has a symbolic meaning. The brand has traditionally acted as an unofficial spokesperson for American ideals, freedom, wealth, and tolerance. Its commercials are often seen as embodiments of American values that have been modified to appeal to viewers throughout the world. Coca-Cola's decision to withdraw from its home country presents a startling paradox for international partners. For viewers at home, it implies that the United States is no longer a dependable economic partner. The relocation of Coca-Cola's headquarters and supply chain will also change the geopolitical landscape in the business sector, raising concerns about the long-term sustainability of globalization under a protectionist government. Now the business has to deal with the logistical, cultural, and political difficulties of setting up a new base of operations. According to early reports, a European nation with a robust logistical network, trade agreements with several international markets, and political stability is preferred. Germany, the Netherlands, and Switzerland have all been identified as potential candidates. The response to Coca-Cola's move has been conflicting. Moving to any of these countries would provide the company greater access to the European market while shielding it from the volatility of U.S. trade policy at home. Some corporate executives and political analysts see it as a warning that unilateral economic initiatives might have high and unfavorable costs. Some saw it as a betrayal, claiming that the business abandoned American values and workers in order to pursue financial gain. These criticisms, however, often ignore how intricate and interconnected contemporary trade is. The business of Coca-Cola is not based on a single country. Its capacity to function well in a variety of challenging logistical situations is essential to its survival and expansion. In addition to its headquarters, Coca-Cola has strong ties to the U.S. via its suppliers, bottling partners, and regulatory environment. It's no easy task to dismantle that edifice and rebuild it somewhere else. It includes everything from moving company headquarters and IT equipment to renegotiating contracts, retraining employees, and establishing new alliances in outside markets. However, the company's choice to embark on such a significant project highlights how dire things have become. This jump is not opportunistic, it is a grudging but essential survival tactic. Although moving will come with significant short-term costs, investors have responded with cautious optimism. By shifting its base to a nation with stable trade laws and a more stable economy, Coca-Cola is putting itself in a position to sustain growth and profitability in a difficult global environment. Uncertainty still persists. How many more businesses will do the same? What will be the political and economic repercussions for the millions of Americans whose jobs rely on multinational corporations within the larger business ecosystem?
So yet another company that's going to be pulling its roots out of the American soil and replanting them somewhere else. Now, look, if Trump's tariffs were going to be such this grand stellar fucking thing that he says was going to make our country great, then why is all our businesses either shutting down or moving elsewhere? Okay, is that conducive to making a country stronger? I think not. I think not, people. I think that when you are constantly putting tariffs and then raising the cost of those tariffs, and then, you know, expecting good things to happen afterwards, and they don't, it's pretty obvious that this tactic Trump's using here is not working. It's failing. God, I mean, how many ways do we have to explain it to MAGA and those people that support him? It's not working. Okay? As quickly as these tariffs were put into place, okay, the results of what happened, okay, is already showing up in the stock market, and the nervousness out there of businesses and stuff like that is very noticeable. I mean, you could sense it, okay? And as a lot of these people, a lot of these CEOs are coming forward and they're being interviewed voluntarily to try to tell the public this is not working. It's hurting us. And so, you know, we can either listen to them and do whatever we can, or ignore them and just cross your fingers that Trump's going to do something that's going to make it right. But it's not happening. He's not that smart. Okay, I'm sorry, but to get to his idea of what he wants the country to be, or at least that's what he says he wants it to be, the route he's taken is going around our elbow to get to our asshole, okay? Because the way he should have started that was first invest in factories. You got to make America a powerhouse again in manufacturing. We got to go back to those days right after World War II where this country was making everything, okay? We have to reclaim that. And then once you got that, then you could start talking about tariffs and shit like that, okay? But he went about it backwards. He put tariffs in place before we could even begin to start making our own stuff. I mean, if we did make all the things that other countries are making that we've been buying from, okay, that all those things that people in America have been buying, all these Chinese goods, if we started making all the same things, then, hey, it wouldn't really matter so much to us, okay, because A, everybody would be working, B, there'd be money to spend on American stuff, okay, and C, the other countries, well, they'd have to make do with some, working with other countries. It wouldn't really hit us that bad. But this, what he's doing is, it's like he's skipping a step and going right to the end, and it's not working, okay? And every economist has pretty much said the same, that the way he's doing this stuff is backwards, all right? You can't put tariffs first and on a country that isn't making anything, like us, and then expect, oh, we're going to reap the rewards and all that. No, he's hurting the wealthy as well as the working class, all right? And the proof is out there. All you got to do is look, when the docks are not getting shipments of things, okay, when nothing's coming in to fill the store shelves, okay, that is a bad sign. That's a bad sign. And right now, a lot of these stores are noticing that they're unable to get more stocks to restock the shelves, and it's taking longer. All right, so cutting workers, closing stores, I mean, that's the only alternative they have to this, to combat this. And that means more layoffs, more, higher unemployment, which was low under Biden, and now it's going through the fucking roof. I mean, I can't imagine what the numbers are going to show later on in this quarter, the profits and stuff. I mean, I imagine it's going to look really sad that we gave up prosperous times to gamble on a guy who claimed he had a winning plan, okay, and in the end he doesn't. Okay. So it's really terrible to see that this is going to lead to more job loss here in this country. But that's what happens when you hit your wagon to a falling star.